Bellevue Hill is an eastern suburb of Sydney. It's best known for being one of Sydney's wealthiest, located 5 kilometres east of the Sydney CBD. The house we're about to show you is an icon in the area. With its steep castle-like facade, it's reminiscent of a home you'd expect to see in a James Bond movie. As you can see, the new section of the home has been cut into the side of a hill. The original home is set atop of the hill where the harbour views can be appreciated. We meet building extraordinaire Elvis Mardini in the chiselled-out entrance tunnel leading to the glass elevator. This could be Australia's best house. I mean that. Like, it is absolutely stunning. Are we on the set of a James Bond movie here?
Well, first of all, I believe it's Australia's best house. And yes, you are on a James Bond movie starring Elvis Mardini.
Let's check it out.
Let's go check it out.
We realised pretty much straight away that the key to the planning of the whole project was the position of the lift. We needed to minimise the amount of excavation involved in locating the lift, but also find a position for it where it wasn't going to affect the view of the neighbour on the south side. So the lift was the key to everything, and from that everything else kind of fell into place. We could put a new external stair up the north side of the block, and the client's idea of putting a lap pool across the top of the new garage was actually going to fit, and we could get an 18-metre pool across here, and the planning kind of fell into place as a result of that quite neatly.
To produce something like this, Elvis, I mean, the work to carve into a cliff, I mean, how many metres did you have to carve into it?
The top of the cliff face was 22 metres above street level. That was completely carved down from the top down to the garage level. In total was 2,500 tonnes of rock. That was sawn cut, and a lot of it was actually reproduced to clad the house. And then a lot of it that was actually really good quality was hand carved, as you can see, by one of our stonemasons who just chipped away with a pick and a chisel. It was simple as that. I guess the biggest problem with a house like this, it's the fatigue. Yeah, you got your aches and pains, you're weary, you're mentally exhausted, you're physically exhausted.
I mean, the only way to get in was through the stairs.
Through the stairs. We had no crane here, we had no lift.
Oh my
the lift
goodness.
was only commissioned when the owners moved in.
Wow.
So everything had to be lugged up by hand.
With your own finger that you produced this house, you've engraved into the...
Our stamp, yeah.
The stamp at the front of the house.
It was actually the owner's idea. He said to me when we finished, he said, Elvis, do you know what I want you to do from now on? He said, all your work is arts. So I want you to make a stamp and stamp it in the concrete so people recognise that it was your effort.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what, I'm going to go one step further. I'm actually going to write it in myself, my own hands, because I built this house in my hands, and I'm going to write, built by Mardini Constructions, and the year it was built with my hands as well.
This house is an absolute credit to you as a builder. It's just absolutely amazing. It's won awards.
It's won many awards. We've won Australian, New South Wales Renovation and Building of the Year. We've been included on the Historic Houses Tour, which was an enormous honour for me. With the Historic Houses Tour, it basically includes the Opera House, the Harbour Bridge, you've got the museum, you've got Elizabeth Bay House, all the iconic landmarks, and this was included on the tour, which to me was really one of the biggest compliments of my life, because it shows that what we did was recognised, most important thing, and we achieved what we needed to achieve.
Yeah.
And people fell in love with this house.
Well, it was an interesting house because it had very good bones. The structure of the house was fantastic, really. But it had, in the 60s, had a very big makeover, and lots of the original features had been removed. I started to look around the house and see what elements were existing and what existed of the old house. And then I decided to work with those particular elements, or patterns or whatever they were, and develop that through the house. The way I approach design is actually you have to approach it about the building itself. So you don't necessarily go and impose what you think is the right design. You have to think about what the property offers. And in this case, we had something which was a wonderful old house, which is really, I think, worth preserving and worth restoring, which is what we did. But really all the sort of vertical integration down to the garage and everything could be totally new. And there was no point making that a historical thing at all. It had absolutely no reference to the house. It's all new. And I think the combination of the two elements are, one is a reflection of the restoration of the house, and the other one is actually about the mechanical access through from the street up to the house itself.
Working with Donald and with Elvis, the key to the whole project was the way that the landscape would actually stitch together the old building and all of the new work. And coming back here, having finished the house a sort of year and a half ago, seeing it on a day like today and seeing how fantastic all these plants look as they start to actually take over the structure and soften all of these kind of hardline building forms that we created. You know, the original vision that we had for the project's really kind of come through, and it's just looking terrific, and it's going to improve with age.
The thing about a house like this is there's so many stories that are captured here. You know, there's generations, 100 years of people who've lived here.
There's a lot of history to this house.
And amazing stories can be told through these walls.
Just creates conversation in this house.
Yeah.
That's for me what it's all about. So when people are talking about your house,
Yeah.
then I guess you've done something right, haven't you?
You've done an amazing job here, so thank you so much for showing us through.
Thank
Elvis.
you.
Had a fantastic time.
More than welcome.